Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Ask the HR Expert. My name is Katie Stewart with Tandem HR. So today's question has to do with recreational marijuana and how this impacts employers and what may have to be done differently with drug testing programs. So I'm going to address this for both Michigan and Illinois employers. So both states have made it legal for individuals over a certain age to possess a certain amount of marijuana and use a certain amount of marijuana. Now, both states have a lot of employers that in the past have had drug-free workplace policies and are wondering now, how do I continue to maintain that drug-free workplace with recreational marijuana now being legal? So the acts do prohibit discrimination against individuals that are already employed by you, as well as applicants, so prevents you from discriminating against them because of their use or possession of recreational marijuana. Now, people ask, well, isn't recreational use of marijuana still illegal at the federal level? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. But states have been given the authority and right to legalize recreational use, and the federal government really hasn't pushed back on that. Now, what type of protections does this law provide to employers? So nothing prohibits an employer from still adopting that zero tolerance policy in terms of their workplace. So what this means is that employees cannot be under the influence or have within their possession at the workplace marijuana. So this should be really looked at similarly as the use of alcohol in the workplace. So we can't discriminate against an individual for what they do on off-duty hours or outside of our workplace, but we still have control about them being under the influence when they are in our workplace or even on call. So also it does not prohibit employers from drug testing and having reasonable suspicion, random if you have an appropriate program in place, or pre-employment drug testing. The question here though is, are you able to ensure that by drug testing an individual that you may feel is under the influence of recreational marijuana in the workplace, are you able to properly not discriminate against them for their off-duty conduct? The way that drug testing is today, it can detect if there is marijuana in your system that you used hours ago or weeks ago or potentially even months ago. So the challenge is you can't solely rely on drug testing to make these determinations. So just as you would for any other type of substance that you do not want employees to be under the influence of while at work, you should have a reasonable suspicion checklist to look at things like, what is their speech? How is their behavior? Are they irritable? Are they slurring their words? Are they doing any of these irrational type of things within the workplace that then would make you determine that a drug test or even an alcohol test is necessary in this situation? So there's a couple decisions that employers really need to make. Is the risk too high for you to even consider keeping your drug test policies in place, especially for pre-employment? Or do you want to just make sure that your current drug testing program is in line with your state law? Now, if you have to follow DOT regulations, if you're a federal contractor, and in a lot of healthcare facilities as well, some of these laws may differ. So please make sure that you're looking at these laws and how they apply to your specific industry. So I hope you found this information useful. And again, thank you for joining me for Ask the HR Expert.